House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries gave an interview this morning that I think is particularly telling. It's very revealing about how scared corporate Democrats are of this new progressive wing of the party, in particular of DSA candidates. It's like corporate Democrats are allergic to winning. It's like they're allergic to representing the will of their voters. And that histamine reaction was on full display in this interview this morning. If you want to hear what Hakeem Jeffries said about abolishing ICE, which is part of the DSA's platform, then go back and watch part 1. But here I really want to focus on what he said about healthcare.
All right, let's move on to Medicare for All. You co-sponsored Medicare for All legislation from 2013 to 2021. You've not co-sponsored it since you became Democratic leader. Will you put Medicare for All up for a vote if you become Speaker?
Well, listen, these are all conversations that the House Democratic Caucus is going to have.
What do you mean? You haven't been talking about this already? It's August. The midterms are coming up very quickly, and y'all still have to have a conversation about healthcare. You haven't all gotten on the same page yet or presented a compelling and persuasive position to the American people like DSA candidates have.
Right now, we're focused on November 3rd, not January 3rd.
What do you mean we have to focus on November 3rd and not January 3rd? If you want anybody to give you their fucking vote on November 3rd, then you had better be ready right now. You should have been ready months ago with your plan clearly articulated about what you are going to do on day 1 in January. Nobody is going to vote for you if you don't tell them what you're going to do for them starting in January. I know. I have definitely communicated the vote blue no matter who, when the choice is a literal fascist or a corporate Democrat. And I hate the fact that we have to play that game, that you all have so effectively played that game for so long, Hakeem Jeffries, right? I have to look in my governor's race here in Oregon, and I have to fucking vote for Tina Kotek because otherwise Christine Drazan is gonna win. But for an awful lot of voters, as you should have learned in 2024, when the choice is two cheeks of the same butt, a corporate Democrat or a fascist Republican, both of y'all beholden to big pharma, big healthcare, big oil, APAC, big crypto, a lot of people are just going to say, no fucking thank you. I'm not voting. I'm not showing up. And we know to defeat fascism, we need a massive, massive turnout in November. When you don't give people something to vote for, when they don't have any hope that you will represent them and their best interest, they're not going to bother, especially when Republicans are making it as hard as possible for people to vote. This is so short-sighted.
All promising the American people is that we're going to fight to make health care affordable for every single American. And we know there's a lot of damage that Republicans have done that we've got to restore and repair. For instance, Republicans have enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. More than $1 trillion or so has been cut from Medicaid, and what you're going to have is about 14 million Americans lose access to health care.
Do you personally support Medicare for All? Do you personally support Medicare for All?
No, as you indicated, I haven't co-sponsored the Medicare for All legislation that has been introduced over the last several years. I do think we need to figure out how to fix our broken healthcare system and then build something better once we repair the damage that has been done. Now, that will include doing things like extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits so that more than 20 million people who have seen their health insurance premiums skyrocket, in some cases by up to $1,000 a month. That's not sustainable, and that's something that Donald Trump and Republicans have visited upon the American people.
To be very clear, though, as a Democratic leader in the House, would you vote for or against Medicare for All?
Thank you for pushing him.
I think as you've indicated in your question to me, it's not legislation that I currently am co-sponsoring or that I support.
Okay.
But we do support the notion that we've got to find a path forward to fix our broken healthcare system and make health care affordable for every single.
Okay, that's enough of that. This is the talking point from corporate Democrats, and I would encourage you, if your Democratic member of Congress uses this talking point, we need to make healthcare affordable for all Americans. Go look and see how much money they are taking from United Healthcare, and go see how much money they're taking from big healthcare lobbies. See how much money they're taking from big health insurance. What financial incentive do they have to not support Medicare for all? I find it interesting that as Hakeem Jeffries became more politically ambitious, right, he moved very much further to the right, stopped supporting the idea of Medicare for all, and now he toes the talking point of the establishment, of those who are backed by big healthcare. Because if we got rid of healthcare for all, you guys understand that when Medicare was rolled out, we could have had Medicare for everybody. You understand that we could have had Medicare for everybody this entire time, but it's because of for-profit healthcare paying their CEOs 50, 60, $100 million a year, denying you your claims. It's because of them that we don't have Medicare for all. It's because of them that Medicare for all has been villainized and has been falsely framed in the press for years and years and years. As the child of, my father was in the Air Force, right? So I had basically socialized medicine. I had that experience my entire upbringing of having access to free healthcare, having access to a system that everybody could have. It's never made any sense to me that people have to shop for healthcare or that your healthcare has to be tied to your employment. Okay, so earlier today, I was having a conversation about this very issue with some of my neighbors and friends. On Sundays, we often meet at the local coffee shop, and we bring our knitting or our sewing or crafts, and we get together and we chit chat and have coffee and hang out. And the subject of Medicare for all came up because one of my friends at this group has been a big proponent, a big advocate of Medicare for all here in Oregon and nationally for a really long time. And we were talking about how Medicare for all is freedom. Medicare for all is freedom, and we need to communicate that to the American people. What do I mean by that? Medicare for all is freedom. In the United States, you are shackled to your employer because of healthcare. You will stay with an employer who is terrible, underpays you, abuses you, treats you like crap because you need health insurance for yourself and for your children. It keeps people in jobs that are untenable, miserable. It keeps people from advancing their careers or making career changes. Having health insurance tied to your employment is nonsensical. So imagine here, all of the money that you're currently paying for your premium, right? If it's a family premium, it could be like $1,100, $1,500 a month or more that you're paying, and then your employer is also paying their share. Imagine all of that is your compensation. So think if all of that went into your bank account instead, right? If your salary was that much higher, all that money you're spending on healthcare, that now is converted into salary. And now you are not dependent on your employer for healthcare. You have Medicare for all. You fund part of it, the billionaires fund it. And let's say your boss is refusing to give you the raise that you're due. Let's say your boss abuses you. It's miserable. You just hate your job and you want to start your own business. You want to be able to take a risk. You want to be able to go back to school and retrain for a new career. If your healthcare is not tied to this job that you hate, you have those greater percentage of financial resources that have gone into your bank account this whole time, you will have the freedom to make changes, to try to pursue your art, to try and get certified in a new vocation, to try to start your own business, or just to look for a job that fulfills you, that pays your bills, that you enjoy, that you feel is worthwhile. How many soul-sucking jobs are Americans stuck in? How many employers are abusing their workers because of healthcare, because healthcare is tied to employment? Way back in 2018, 70% of the American people supported Medicare for all. And pretty consistently for the last 10 years, between 80 and 85% of Democrats have supported Medicare for all. And currently, about 6 in 10 Americans support Medicare for all. I think if they'd phrased this question a little bit differently, they would have gotten an even higher response, because they asked people if they would support a, quote, national health insurance program. Even with that phrasing, 71% of independents, a voting bloc that Jeffries says he wants to court, said that they want Medicare for all. So the question is, why is the leader of the Democrats in the House not representing the will of Democratic voters or of the American people overall? Why is he the leader if he's not working to implement programs that we all want and need?